Most men believe that women become emotionally attached because of the things they do, giving her attention, buying her gifts, always being available. But that's not how emotional attachment works. A woman doesn't attach to logic or reason. She doesn't fall in love with your consistency alone or your good behavior. She attaches to how you make her feel. If she feels emotional depth, excitement, tension, or mystery around you, she begins to bond. Her emotions are her compass, not your checklist of romantic actions. You can be everything on paper, loyal, supportive, generous, and still get left behind if she doesn't feel alive in your presence. Emotional attachment forms when you trigger something she can't explain, something that bypasses her mind and speaks directly to her nervous system. That's why women often stay attached to men who aren't even good for them, because the emotional experience was intense. You have to understand, it's not about being the perfect man. It's about being the man who stirs something inside her. You need to create contrast, comfort mixed with unpredictability, safety laced with tension. That emotional cocktail is what gets her addicted. When she feels a new emotional experience with you, something she hasn't felt before, you imprint her. She begins associating those feelings with you. And once that happens, it's not about what you gave her. It's about what she felt when you walked into the room. That's why emotional depth beats logical appeal every single time. Women don't stay with men who give them everything. They stay with men who awaken parts of themselves they didn't know existed. That awakening, those emotional highs and lows, that's what locks her in. That's what turns a casual connection into emotional attachment. You don't win her mind, you reach her soul. Most men don't lose women because they were bad partners. They lose them because they were too predictable, too available, too emotionally soft. You can't make a woman feel deep emotional bonding if your energy is flat and always accessible. The men who create the deepest attachment aren't always saying the right things, but they carry the right presence. Masculine presence is about calm, grounded energy that doesn't bend to her every mood or request. When a woman throws emotional waves your way, she's not always looking for a solution. She's looking to feel your strength. If you stay centered while she's testing or storming, she begins to trust you on a deep, subconscious level. That trust creates emotional safety, and that safety creates attachment. Not because you told her everything would be okay, but because you radiated the energy of a man who can handle her, who can lead. Most men think responding instantly or always being sweet builds connection. But it's your ability to hold tension without cracking that draws her in. Masculine energy is like gravity. When you're grounded, she orbits. When you're frantic, she drifts. You don't have to be emotionally distant, but you do have to be emotionally solid. Don't rush to fix everything. Don't collapse at every emotional high. Let her feel your stillness. Let her feel your calm. That's what she remembers. Not what you said, but how she felt around you. Women get emotionally attached to the man who gives them a sense of both emotional intensity and deep safety. That balance is rare, and that's what makes your presence unforgettable. Not your words, not your gifts, but your unwavering energy. Most men overdo connection. They flood a woman with compliments, messages, and constant availability, thinking it will make her feel secure. But security isn't built through saturation. It's built through emotional rhythm. A seductive man understands the power of giving and pulling back. He knows that moments of connection should feel like a reward, not a routine. When you give a woman your full presence and then take a step back, you allow emotional tension to build. That tension creates anticipation, which leads to longing. Longing leads to emotional bonding. Constant presence kills the craving. If she always knows where you are, what you're doing, and how you feel, she stops wondering. And when a woman stops wondering, she stops investing. You're not playing games by stepping back. You're building value through space. Just like a great song needs silence between the notes, emotional connection needs contrast. Let her feel your warmth, and then let her feel your absence. Let her experience intimacy, and then let her experience the unknown. That fluctuation creates emotional imprinting. Her nervous system begins to associate unpredictability with excitement, and that excitement becomes addictive. She begins chasing the next moment with you, not because you're withholding, but because you're not always on call. When a woman has to wonder what's next, when she has to earn access to your emotional world, she becomes emotionally invested. That's the secret. Don't overshare, don't overextend, give her space to miss you. That space creates curiosity, and curiosity fuels emotional attachment. When she has to fill in the blanks, her imagination bonds her to you far deeper than anything you could say. The greatest mistake men make is being completely emotionally transparent too soon. While openness builds trust, mystery builds desire. A woman wants to feel like there's more to discover about you, that you're not fully known, that she's slowly uncovering deeper layers of your world. When you expose everything too quickly, you kill the intrigue. She loses the desire to chase because there's nothing left to chase. Keep parts of yourself sacred, not hidden, but reserved. Let her see glimpses of your emotional world, then return to calm. Let her feel your warmth, but maintain your silence. That contrast, that slow reveal, is where emotional bonding begins. Women don't fall for what's obvious. They fall for what's felt but not fully understood. The emotional mystery of a man creates endless fascination. You become a story she wants to keep reading, and each layer you reveal slowly increases her emotional investment. She becomes addicted to discovering you. When she senses emotional depth and restraint, she assumes value. You become rare. In a world of men oversharing and overpursuing, your calm mystery makes her feel special for being let in, even just a little. That's how you become unforgettable, not through constant expression, but through deliberate revelation. Be the experience, not the explanation. Let her curiosity do the work. Emotional depth makes her feel something she can't quite name, and that inability to define it keeps her coming back. It's not confusion, it's emotional gravity. Once she's hooked on discovering you, she's not just involved, she's invested. Not in who you are on the surface, but in what you make her feel as she peels back your layers one by one. Women don't fall in love with perfection. They fall in love with presence. The man who can sit in silence without needing to be validated. The man who doesn't flinch when she tests his emotional center. That's the man she trusts. That's the man she follows. Women naturally test emotional strength, not to manipulate, but to feel your stability. If you're easily shaken, easily provoked, constantly seeking reassurance, she starts to question your ability to lead. She needs to feel that you can handle her, not just in conversation, but in energy. If she brings chaos and you remain calm, she relaxes. Emotional leadership isn't control. It's grounded energy that doesn't break. You don't chase her validation. You don't seek her approval. You move with intention. You respond when necessary, and you remain still when it serves. Stillness is power. The more you speak from silence and act from calm, the more she feels safe to open, to surrender, to bond. That stillness becomes her anchor, and once she anchors herself to your emotional steadiness, the attachment becomes deep and unconscious. She trusts your leadership, she respects your restraint, and she feels more feminine in your presence. That dynamic, masculine energy meeting feminine emotion, creates magnetic polarity. She doesn't attach because you begged for her time. She attaches because your energy led hers. You didn't perform for her attention. You made her feel something she couldn't resist. That's real power, and once she feels it, she'll do anything to stay close to it. Not because she's manipulated, but because she's moved, deeply, emotionally, and without logic. That's how feminine bonding works. That's how obsession begins.